All right. Inside the Pod with Lou here. Welcome in, guys. I have a special podcast today. We have 559 fighter Isaiah Walls. He's going to be fighting August 23rd. And like you guys know, we start every podcast with a Bible verse. And today's verse, Isaiah is going to let us know. What did you pick today, sir?
We got Psalms chapter 4, verse 7 through 8. You have given me greater joy than those who have abundant harvests of grain and new wine. In peace I will lie down and sleep. For you alone, O Lord, will keep me safe.
And then it's Psalms what one more time? 4.
Psalms chapter 4, verse 7 through 8.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, welcome in, brother. Thank you for coming by. So we'll just jump right in it, okay? So obviously you're fighting on the August 23rd card, 559. So first question I'm going to ask you, like, how did you get into fighting?
I actually was influenced by my father. He used to train, and he wrestled in high school, and he did kickboxing and jiu-jitsu. And I used to just run around the gym as a little kid in the cage with my brother. And from there, I was just influenced to start wrestling, and then just kind of carried on there, led me to fighting.
So you wrestled. So did you wrestle in junior high, high school?
I started wrestling in 4th grade.
Okay.
So I was 10. And from there, once I told him that I wanted to wrestle, he told me we had to take it serious. So he brought me to a club, and I did it from.
And so you were in a club with a certain coach, right? I think we just had him on the podcast. What was the coach's name?
George Moreno. But when I started was with Damani Buckley.
Okay.
He was coaching at Red Wave Wrestling. I do believe he's coaching somewhere else right now. But, yeah, that was the first coach that I ever started with.
Nice. And then where did you go to high school?
I actually went to Clovis West High School.
Okay, so you were an Eagle.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. So, second question. So, what is your fighting style? What would you say your fighting style is? Being more of a wrestler, is it like more like are you adjusting now, or are you like quick to have the wrestling, or like what is your style, Isaiah?
I would say I'm like a freestyle fighter. I'm definitely a bigger grappler than striking, but lately in my career, I've been falling in love with striking. So, been trying to evolve and make adjustments to my game. But first, I did wrestling. Then I hopped into jiu-jitsu. Then I went into Muay Thai, and then started practicing some boxing. And so I would say I'm a freestyle fighter, even though I like to strike now.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
It's kind of coming along, right? You're kind of adjusting, learning.
Figuring
With that being said, we'll jump into the next one. So, like, what gym do you kind of currently train out of?
The gyms that I currently train out of is my main gym would be Manny Mancha's kickboxing gym.
Okay.
That gym's family to me. I love that gym since the day that I walked in. But I also train with Coach Chris at Madera Martial Arts. They have a really good team there. A lot of their guys are pro. Some other guys are still amateur. Kind of been making that my new home as well lately. So I'm mostly training out of those two gyms as of right now, but I kind of hop around from gym to gym kind of everywhere for jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then do you feel like when you hop around from gym to gym, is that just to kind of like, broad your skill set? Is like you said, like kind of becoming more of a striker? Is one gym in particular teaching you more about striking, or?
Well, my striking style started with Manny Mancha.
Okay.
It's kind of like more kickboxing influence style, and but I've been learning and adding more boxing into my game. And Coach Chris has kind of been polishing it off. So it's coming along, but I have some really good coaches.
No, for sure.
Helping me out.
How many fights have you currently had under your belt?
Right now, this is on the August 23rd is going to be my 8th fight. I've been fighting for a little bit. I did take a little bit of a break, but I'm trying to fight as much as possible. So I'm sure I'll be able to add more fights under my belt pretty soon here.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. Let's see. All right, so kind of like, speaking of that, so like when you're kind of going to enter a fight, right, what's the mindset kind of going into a fight? Does it depend on your opponent, or like how does Isaiah get ready for a fight?
Um, my mindset is kind of just almost nothing. I just focus on my breathing. I try to deal with the emotions that I do feel. And I definitely use God to deal with those. And I just want to walk out there with just feeling like free, just kind of like empty in a way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because training camp could like last usually like how long? Obviously, being locally and trying to get as much fights as you can. Certain camps are a little bit shorter, right? You're kind of just jumping in from like fight to fight. Right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, my last fight I actually took on a 3-day notice. It's very controversial to some of my coaches about that decision that I made, but my head coach gave me the go. My promoter told me he thinks it's a good idea, so I took it on a 3-day notice.
Mm-hmm.
And not every camp is like that. Most of the time I am training for about a month or 2 months before I do fight.
Yeah.
But that was just
yeah. Because, I mean, you have a 1 or 2 months to kind of like get ready for this fighter, right?
Yeah.
And so if it's like a 3-day, 2-day, whatever week notice, it's kind of just like, okay, jump in it, train, get ready. But really, okay, my question is now, because, and it's for all of us out there to learn, right?
Yeah.
What's the mindset like on fight night? Like, when you're in the locker room, you kind of hear the crowd, you're going to come out, like, what's that? How, walk us through that.
Yeah. My mindset when I'm on fight night, I used to try to like hype myself up, and I tried to like get myself pumped up. And I later realized that that's not the best way to go about things. So honestly, I just tried to empty my mind, and I just tried to focus on my breathing and just try to stay locked in. And I do a lot of I pray a lot right before I go out. And I just ask God that he could allow me to perform at, my best ability in front of my fans, my friends and family.
And fans.
Yeah.
You have a fan right here in me, so they're starting to grow, right?
Yeah, I didn't like that.
I like that you're being humble.
Yeah, my friends
and
and family. I don't really like to look at people as like fans,
Yeah. No, I understand. I mean, sometimes I'll say I'm my followers, right? And I don't mean it like that. Like you said, it just kind of comes off because it's true. People do subscribe to the channel or they follow you or vice versa. People that eventually start knowing who Isaiah Walls is, right? They're going to be your fan, And one thing I do want to touch on, because you brought it up already twice now.
Yeah.
So what is your relationship like with God?
My relationship with God is very interesting. It's kind of a daily struggle, if I'm being honest with you. I was born and raised Christian, and all my life I believe that if you believe in God, that's good enough, and that's all you really need. It's just that belief that he is your Lord and Savior. And just growing with my relationship with God, it's kind of changed, and I've learned a lot, and he's changed me a lot. And it's just a daily struggle, and I try my best, and I try to keep him in the center of my life no matter what I'm doing. I try to just bring it back to God and make sure that I'm kind of pleasing him with my decisions, my thoughts, and the way I'm treating people. I'm not the best out of it. I'm not going to be perfect, but as long as I remember that and I keep that in my head, I'm working daily to become a better person and the person that I need to be. So it's honestly a struggle. If I'm being honest with you, brother.
I mean, and that's honestly that's real and authentic, because people assume, and I'm not saying, just in general, right?
Yeah.
Like, for example, I did an event last night, Moms in Prayer, right? And it was a fireball. I kind of like took it short notice, one day, hey, just come do this, right? And, I had to put everything in a prayer now, and so when I did, it just, obviously it's about God, Moms in Prayer, right? So when I get there, kind of like the way we did it right now, think of it like we're in our rounds, bro. We just did first round, right? We both came out. We don't know what's going to happen. We're just kind of talking. We're kind of flowing, right? And as we get into the podcast, will adjust just like a fight, right? And so
Mhm.
when I ask you the question about the Lord and about your fight game, when you pray, right? Because I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I mean,
Yeah.
you hit right on the money, man. I feel like you caught me right on the jaw right now, right? I'm the same way. My relationship with the Lord is the same, right? It's
Mhm.
it's it's a struggle, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like I'm not worthy of nothing. I should have His wrath and not His grace, right?
Mhm.
And so what I want to ask you is like when you're kind of getting into the fight game. Now I'm gonna kind of see. Now I'm feeling it and I'm flowing, right? The Holy Spirit's here. As you kind of took it off in your fight career, right? Now you're in 559 fights.
Yeah.
But prior to 559, how did that happen? Like, how did you get with 559? Like, how did that happen?
So growing up in the wrestling scene, um, kind of knew everybody. My coach was very popular and knew had a lot of connections. So I actually wrestled with Jace when I was younger, and I knew Jeremy ever since I started wrestling.
Okay.
And I knew he was a fight promoter, and he had his own promotion. And it just kind of lined up. He hit me up, and he asked me if I saw that I was training. He asked me if I wanted to fight for him, and kind of just got lined up for a fight through him. Yeah.
Yeah, and the reason I asked that is because you talked about the struggle and your relationship, like with the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Like this podcast, right? I went all in, bro. This is what I do now for a living. And do you see yourself kind of like is that what you want to do for a living? You want to be a fighter? Do you see yourself kind of making this your career?
Yeah, I just really enjoy the lifestyle. I love living this life. So I want to take it as far as I can go with it. But I've kind of surrendered it to the Lord. Like no matter what happens, I'm okay. Just being able to be around good people and be in the Word, I'm totally content with that. But at the same time, um, I think what I can take from this, no matter what happens, is just having a skill that I can pass down to, my kids one day, possibly pass down to like my friends' kids one day, and I'm just trying to grow my knowledge about the game and my skill set so that I could be the best coach or best parent that I could be,
I love that. I love that. And the reason I ask is because, like, obviously when we do stuff, right? And this is for like the believers and the non-believers, but bro, everything has a reason why I'm saying this. So back to moms in prayer, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like yesterday they're telling the women of the community, like, you don't need to know the Lord, you don't need to go to church, you don't need to do this. Like, if you're just seeking other women that are like-minded and they just want to, kind of, I guess you can say, help you out, mentor you, just be there for you, right? Just have someone to listen to, have someone to talk to, enjoy a movie, right? I say that because kind of like same thing you kind of just answered a little bit, but being in the fight game, like if sometimes people don't really realize like, you do this one to stay in shape, right? Be disciplined. And I kind of heard a little bit from you is whether you go pro or not, you're content. You're content with, the journey and learning. And that's kind of, I guess, where I was trying to go with it, but you kind of answered it in that, but that was good. And then, okay, so the next one is like kind of have an idea, but where do you get your motivation from? Because I see that, now that we've added each other on social media, man, bro, you're working out 2-3 times a day, right? Is that 7 days a week, 5 days a week, or do you have a schedule, or how does that work?
Yeah. So, quick answer, I get my motivation from just first and foremost God, but also my my longing for a family one day. I want to be someone that would be someone that I could respect,
For sure.
and admire, myself. But my schedule, that is interesting. It's constantly changing. It's always like on the go. I do have set practices and set like that I try to go to. But mainly I try to take Sunday and make that my off day.
Okay.
Sometimes I do still try to get my training in that day as well.
Yeah, no, same. I try to make that right now that I've kind of jumped out and the schedule's kind of wild, right?
Yeah.
I try to do it, Monday through Saturday and take Sunday off, but just like, it being now entering the fight game and talking to everyone that's different, you want to, you try to adjust to the fighters or just necessarily the guest schedule. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we have to work on a Sunday,
Yeah.
And I feel like as long as we're continuing to, talk to God daily, give him the glory, speak to him, have a relationship with him.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's okay to work on a Sunday, but I mean, I feel like as long as you're in that, conversation with him and you go to him daily, I think we have to do, we have to do as far as work, right?
Yeah. Someone said something really good one day, and they said that if the devil can't get to you, he'll make you busy. And so even though it's very important to work hard and get the advantage above your competition, I think it's also very important to make the time daily for the Lord and make sure you're, still, giving him time throughout the day to pray to him, be in the Word or whatever, gives you your peace.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
And then I as you kind of go, we kind of talked about it, like, obviously with you, I kind of understanding like you're content and kind of with, but is the goal later on to be maybe like in a Bellator or like UFC or maybe even A1?
Yeah. About that, I really don't know. That's a conversation that I need to have with my management and Jeremy, but I wouldn't be opposed to that. A1 is a great promotion. I've been watching a lot of their fights, and some of the guys, they're fighters. 559 did also come out with their Pro-Am cards, So there's a lot of options.
Yeah, educate
for
us.
sure.
Like, I mean, like I said, this has happened really so fast. Today's really about to get to know you,
Mhm.
but if you want to educate even me as far as like, the background of it, right? I'm learning, I'm open, I'm willing, but it's kind of like, we said, I kind of took this interview has been ours was kind of fast, right? It was kind of, we took it on like on a, let's not say a 3-day, but let's say like, a week notice, right?
Yeah.
And then when we kind of talked briefly, you can only talk so much. And I want it to be real and authentic. I want people to understand, like, I don't want this to be staged and I have to come and check my, to give you questions. I want it to be just so natural. And what I really want my audience or the audience to learn, especially during your podcast, is exactly what you're getting yourself into. So,
Yeah.
like, you being in 559, right? Now,
Mhm.
you've had 8 fights, what's your record?
So my record right now is 4-3.
Okay.
Yeah. But I've fought some really tough opponents.
Yeah, no, for
and
sure.
I think that it's very important, especially in your amateur career, to fight tough guys. So I don't really like to I mean, I don't put too much on records.
No, and I
you
mean
know?
that to like so
Yeah.
people can get to know who you are, like
Yeah,
who
yeah.
when you fought, who you fought, kind of like you said, and then just I think people base things off of like right away, records or right away like results, right?
Yeah.
They don't understand like you're growing, you're learning. Like right here,
Yeah.
we're taking on certain podcasts. I'm coming on. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just jumping into it, with a willing heart, and I really truly like want to get to know who Isaiah Walls is, right?
Yeah.
I really want to know the fighters that if 559 wants to continue to, utilize me, I want to know who the fighters are. I want to be more prepared. And in this sense, like I told you the other day on the phone, it's kind of hard to just, research, especially when you're kind of in your amateur career. So when you do come on a podcast, I want it to be so genuine and authentic, but really like for the fans to really get to understand like how this all works, right? What the background is as far as what you can give us too, like behind the scenes, like when you say your management, like how does that happen? When you kind of jump in, it's because of networking. We're understanding this, right? But you kind of get going, and when you say management, is like is someone approaching you? Because I know you're with your coaching, you have your 2 gyms that you go to now, right? But when you say management, like how do you get a management? Like how does that happen? I'm trying to like educate the people as far as like how does that happen with fighters?
Yeah. So Jeremy got me signed through.
And Jeremy, let's just so everyone knows this. Jeremy is the owner of 559, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's the owner of 559. He got me signed through Iridium Sports Agency.
Okay.
There was another management company, I think through Valley Fight Series, that was trying to get me signed with them.
Okay.
I really, my relationship with Jeremy is the reason why I'm in this game, and also the reason why I am where I am in my amateur career. So when I was thinking about that decision, it was only right to go with Iridium. But yeah, that's definitely something you could do it without it. But Jeremy takes care of me really well, and I think that was a good decision on my part to get signed with them.
Yeah, because I know I'm kind of picking back off of something but I really, now that I'm kind of getting and flowing into the conversation, I really want the audience, because sometimes people will hit me up like, hey, well, what does this mean? Or, hey, what is this? Or, hey, you touch on this, right? So, I mean, let's be honest. We met prior to this interview. We talked a little bit on the phone, but we really didn't really get to know each other.
Yeah.
So, like, think of, like, this interview is really, like, not only am I getting to know you, right? But think of, like, the Valley's getting to know you. Everyone that watches 559, right? Everyone that's here. And I think the whole point of this is honestly just to really get you guys out there, really get the fighters out there, right? Really get to know who you are. And that's where fans at the end of the day do come, because when they get to know who Isaiah is and they know that, one, you're a follower of Christ, right? And one thing that I do want to kind of touch on real quick, because I know that it was kind of like you're unique, but when you first came in, right?
Yeah.
When you first come on to our podcast, we give everybody a hat. So this is your hat today, right? And
Thank you,
then
brother.
what I started is, at the end of the day, we start every podcast with the Bible verse, but I definitely want to make sure that I am giving the glory to God, right? And lately, like when stuff happens, the reason I kind of ask you, what's your mindset? What are you thinking? Like this, that, with me, at least with like the podcast, like lately, God has been putting it on my heart to like, I just started getting these little Jesus pieces. And it's kind of funny because when I took a leap of faith, and remember, I was kind of giving you a little bit about my story.
Yeah.
I was a manager at Good Guys Tire and Auto, which I know you said you applied for. I apologize if you applied for my story. We didn't talk to you, but it's funny because a customer came in one day and I'm sitting there, bro, and I'm contemplating like a big decision. Like in my heart, like I already kind of knew, because I was in the I guess you can say I was in the running for a school job, right, to be a teacher.
Okay.
Because I was, prior to being a podcaster and a manager at Good Guys, I worked for the sheriff department for almost 11 years in corrections, and so I had a little bit of law enforcement experience, And so that's why I was thinking of going to be a teacher. But at the time, the Lord had put it on my heart for this podcast. It was pushing, right? And one day, a customer comes in, and she gives me this little Jesus. And when she gives it to me, bro, like, I just looked at it, and I just knew, like, wow. Like, okay, it's like whatever happens, like, I just know I have the Lord. And I think when we look at faith, and I don't really want to, like, kind of touch back on everything I asked you.
Yeah.
When you look at faith, bro, like, it's something you can't see. Right? You just you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know the future, right? You just got to trust God that it's going to work out. Mm-hmm. And that's why when I ask you, like, well, where do you see yourself? Like, do you see yourself really wanting to be a fighter? Do you see yourself wanting to be a coach down the road? Do you see yourself wanting to be whatever, right? And I generally ask that because, one, you're young,
Mm-hmm.
And don't think of record. 4-3 does not matter. Like,
yeah.
if I could tell you my record prior to being a podcaster, bro, it'd probably be like 7-17. I've fouled plenty of times, but it's about, what does the Bible say? A righteous man falls 7 times, but continues to get back up, right? So I honestly don't think of record. I think of, you're learning, right? You're going to have to take your faults.
Yeah.
But as you grow, right, you could be, like I said, 7-17, and then out of nowhere had a 5 win, streak, right? And then all of a sudden, you're the hottest thing to come up, and you still have a losing record, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And the Lord could use anybody.
Yeah.
He picks and chooses as we go, right? And so when you say did you kind of grow up like in a church home? I think you told me.
I was born and raised Christian. My name's Isaiah Christian Walls. It's biblical, and so my father is a great man. His name's Jeremy, but his real name's Jeremiah, and I really like that.
Jeremiah 29:11.
Yeah, so I was born and raised Christian, and like I said earlier in the podcast, I kind of was living my own way and just believing in God, just that He was my Lord and Savior. So I was kind of a lukewarm Christian, and I think when I was it was the beginning of this year, or a little bit in the middle of last year, I was kind of like reconnecting with God and strengthening my relationship with Him. I realized that it's about how I live every day, putting God first and not just believing that He is my Lord and Savior.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think that, like, most people that are like coming to the Lord, it's not an easy thing. Like you said, it's a
Yeah.
struggle, right? It's a daily, pick up your cross and, take a step,
Mm-hmm.
that step could just be something simple as far as just reading one Bible verse,
Yeah.
just saying, having gratitude, thanking for something. Like the other day, I was kind of telling somebody something about we don't realize every day, how much God really protects us, right?
Yeah.
We get in a car, every day, and I think a car accident is like the number one killer in America, being in a car accident. And we drive every day and we don't realize like how much, protection is on us.
Yeah.
And I could tell you like
Agree,
a
brother.
little story. I went to take my son for his 16th birthday. We went to the to Pismo, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're on the pier. And I'm on the pier with my wife, my daughter, and my son.
Yeah.
And I a thought just came to me, and I was like, what if this pier just goes down right now, and we're all in the ocean?
Yeah.
Who do I save? My wife, my daughter, and my son, right? And I feel like, and this is where I have a point to this, is like, in your career, as you go, right? It's like, what do you do when you have all these decisions and you're just thinking, okay, what do I do? And it could give us anxiety, and it can give us stress, and it can give us this, right? I think that's where your relationship with the Lord comes in, and you just got to give it to God.
Yeah.
And at that moment, I realized, like, wow, like, I have no control over nothing. I could sit here and think that I do, or I can do this or do that. But in reality, God gave me that analogy. Like, if this pier were to break right now or go down, who are you going to save? Right? And so I told myself, like, thank you, Lord, for always just kind of being there, protecting me without me realizing all the stuff that, kind of came.
Yeah.
And when I look at it, like when I first did leave the sheriff department, like that was the hardest decision I ever made. Leaving Good Guys was actually really easy for me because I already knew that that wasn't my purpose. Like I was telling you today, when I got up today, bro, like a little kid, first day of school. Well, I shouldn't say that because kids don't like to go to school no more. Let's just say first day, I'm going to go on a vacation or a trip, right? Disneyland, let's say, as a kid. And I was excited. Like, oh, I'm going to get a podcast with Isaiah, and I'm going to get a podcast with this person. And I just knew my passion. Do you feel that way about fighting?
Yeah. This is a tough game to be a part of. And sometimes the amount that I train, the amount that I sacrifice to be in this lifestyle, I ask myself, do you enjoy it? And I think the simple answer is I love my life. And being around the guys at the gym and being around my coaches guiding me, and just being around the community that I have with North Point. And so I wouldn't trade it for anything else, any other life I can imagine.
Yeah, no, for sure. Because, I mean, you're still, I know you earlier trying to touch on something. You're like, oh, I'm 25. Man, it's kind of funny because I remember when I was 25, I had the person that was my age saying, man, I wish I was 25.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be honest with you, like, I don't wish that I was 25 no more, but I do, miss obviously being that young, hungry, can get up. But I look at it like all the wisdom that I learned, from 25 now to 37.
Mm-hmm.
And I look at it like, I can tell you right now, brother, you're on a way better path when I was 25. Because when I was 25, there is self-doubt. There's stuff like you said, I don't kind of have. If you would have told me at 25, hey, bro, by the time you're 37, you're going to be podcasting for 559 fights. You're going to have Isaiah Walls on. I would have said, you're crazy. There's no way, right? Or you would have told me, hey, you're going to go run a tire shop or, a Good Guys. And I knew nothing about cars, but just in time, right? And God's always guiding us. So I just want, to thank you, one, for just coming on this podcast, giving us an opportunity to really interview you, get to know you, right? I know that it's kind of early in your career still.
Yeah.
But let's talk a little bit about the event on August 23rd.
Mm-hmm.
So what can the fans expect from Isaiah Walls on August 23rd?
I think what you can expect is just an exciting fight between me and my opponent. He does have a lot of experience. He's been out of the game for a little bit, I think 5 years, but he's really skilled fighter, and I think it's just going to be a great fight. I think every time I step into the cage, I evolve into a better fighter. So I'm honestly interested to see the performance that I give on August 23rd. I think it's going to be a really good night.
It's gonna be in Visalia, right?
Yeah, that Visalia Convention Center.
Visalia Convention Center. So August 23rd. I think the event starts at, is it 6 or 7?
Doors may open at like 5:30.
Yeah, and then the event starts like at 6 or 7. I'll find out for sure.
Yeah.
But okay, so when you're actually walking to the cage and you're actually getting in there, is it like, remember you said like I'm kind of blank and I'm kind of, I'm thinking this, I'm going that. Is it kind of like when you get in there, does all of a sudden like, do you just like lock in and then all of a sudden, okay, all the training, all the talking to God, all the coaching, everyone is it just kind of like, okay, boom, and then now you're just focused on the fighter? Or how does like, kind of walk us through that?
Yeah. So when I'm walking out to do to get into the cage, I'm just really focusing on my breathing, kind of calming my thoughts, and just trying to move and stay warm because it does get really cold. But once we shake hands and we get back to our corner, it's just kind of, it goes blank from there. It just kind of happens,
Do you have a specific walkout sound that you do, or is it like everything is different? Or like, how do you pick, kind of the music? How do you pick like that night? Like, how does it work out for you?
For every fight, I've had a different walkout song.
Okay.
Yeah, I try to just pick a song that I enjoy listening to while I'm in training camp. But as of lately, my last 2 fights, I've picked like Christian rap artists.
Okay.
Yeah, my last fight I had like Caleb Gordon, and then this fight I think I'm having like a song from Lecrae. But
do you have to give them the songs prior?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we just send them in to Jeremy prior to our fight in the middle of our camp. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to meet Jeremy. I don't even know who Jeremy is.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a really good dude.
Yeah, because it's kind of like, I'll say it right here. It's kind of unique how this all happened, right? I was telling you, like, one day I did the event here, I did this event, and then all of a sudden, boom, I'm here, right?
Yeah.
And I kind of wouldn't change it. It's kind of awesome to me. Like I said, and every fighter is so welcoming, Like, even when I met you, you called me, like, I felt like we talked. It was just natural, And it's kind of cool because you guys do work so hard. You guys truly do dedicate, like, your, blood, sweat, and tears,
Yeah.
And it kind of goes into, like, a lot of sacrifice, right? And I think it's something that the Lord has really put me through, because that's what I'm doing on this podcast. Like, I'm sacrificing blood, sweat, and tears, boots on the ground, I'm trying to come out and I'm making things work, right? Obviously, I would love, and no offense to the studio, it's a beautiful studio, right? This is good little quality, but I would love to eventually bring it to, like, where I'm home, right? When I podcast in my house, I feel like that's inside the Pawaloo.
Okay.
But the beauty of it is, like, I'm going to bring that anywhere I go, because that's what we do. Like, God is with us everywhere, right? And so when I interact with people, I kind of realize, like, this is what I want to do as far as the fight game. I want to make sure I sit down with you and let the people really get to know who you are, right? And so that's the goal of it, So I kind of don't want to be so robotic on questions, but at the same time, I want the fans to really get to know you. So that's why when I ask you these certain questions, like, how'd you get into fighting and your fighting style, the gyms, right? How many fights, mindset, motivation, and your relationship, like, with the Lord, right? The goal in fighting. That's all things that, we ask them kind of fast and they kind of can come off really, quick, but it's something that we're trying to get to know you, we're trying to get to know who, and really fighting in general. Like, I believe that people, when they think of fights, and I'm gonna tell you, this is even me. When you think of, like, MMA, you think of, like, Conor McGregor, you think of the big names, right? They don't really see everybody else under, at least for, because, like, the prelims.
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
A lot of people don't watch the prelims. I'm not saying most, but a lot. They wait for the pay-per-view to come on, Or same thing with boxing. People think of Mike Tyson. We say now, Canelo, or even Jake Paul, because they're big-time people, big-time names, right? But they don't see all these other people. Like, when I went to the amateur event, I'm meeting all these boxers, all these up-and-coming boxers. There's a lot of talent, especially here in Fresno. And I think that's the main thing that I'm wanting to jump on for this, because 559, you're a Fresno boy. I want people to understand, like, we have a lot of talent here, especially in the wrestling community. The other day I asked Coach Moreno, I was like, well, why don't we have, Fresno State don't have a program? Or why doesn't we have more, like, CSU Bakersfield? Or why isn't there more access to that for the wrestling community or just in general fighting? Because do you believe that if there was like a D1 wrestling program, would you have went to a D1, or do you think you would have always did the route you're going on right now?
Well, I had a very long story, and it's very interesting with my fallout in wrestling. But in a short story, I actually stopped wrestling my senior year
Okay.
and kind of took a break from combat sports till I was about like 20.
Okay.
Yeah. So from 18 to 20, I took a break from combat sports, but then that's when I fell in love with jiu-jitsu actually and came
Okay.
back and yeah.
And then, I mean, obviously, you don't want to touch too much on it. Is something you want to touch on? Like, can you tell us why you kind of stopped wrestling?
Me and the head coach got into it.
Okay.
Yeah, there was just some issues there.
And sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
You know, that's
just
I'm gonna tell you this right now. I loved basketball,
Yep.
and I didn't play my senior year.
Yeah.
And the coaches, I mean, it's funny because I'm gonna bring on my coach from high school is gonna come on. He just confirmed the other day, and so I believe that once again, I was stubborn in my time,
Yeah.
and now as I'm kind of growing into the Lord, right, with love, right.
Yeah.
And no, that's because I really genuinely I'm curious to know, like, because I see all these guys like studs, wrestling, and then out of nowhere, like when we get to really think about it after high school, if you don't go to a D1 or even a junior college, a lot of these guys just skills kind of just you go to your next career,
Yeah.
right? And it's kind of just lost, and I feel like that happens a lot because, like I tell you, a lot of fighters just go straight to like the main events and the people that have the face, and they don't really get to know everyone that does it. It's kind of like I'm a baseball guy, so there's levels to baseball, right? Everyone thinks of MLB, but they don't understand like you got the Dominican, you got single A, you got double A, you got triple A, right? You got all these. Now they got the Savannah the bananas, or that one that's kind of like the cool version of baseball. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't.
Oh yeah. So what they do is like they dance and they do like little skill sets, and then it's like a fun way of baseball.
No
Because
way.
baseball can be serious, and it can be a little boring, right? Because if you're in the outfield and you get no action, you're kind of just there. But you got to really love it, just like I said. I think you really got to love fighting. That's why I want to ask you that question, like, where do you see yourself, right? Because hearing it from all the fighters, it's like you just got to really love to fight, got to really love to train though, right?
Yeah.
Because it takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of dedication, right? And I'm going to tie that back into the Lord, right? So that's the same thing following Christ. Like it takes a lot of discipline, it takes a lot of dedication. Sometimes we don't want to do it, right? You don't want to read your Bible. You don't want to do something. And I honestly can say, as I'm in this podcast right now, that's what God revealed to me. That's why I'm doing the fighting.
Yeah.
Because as you become a follower of Christ, it's not something that is just easy to do. Being disciplined is hard.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tie in my favorite verse, right?
Okay.
Isaiah 60:22. When the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. So when you're kind of talking about you wanting to be, have a family, right, and be that leader, continue what you're doing, brother. I can tell you that right now.
Thank you.
God is with you. And not only that, you're going to have a fan of Inside the Pot of Lou for as long as you continue this career. You'll always. But the thing is, like I said, I got to be fair to everybody. I can't, even if you say you fight a guy down the road that I interviewed on the podcast, now I'm just going to hope both you guys are blessed.
Yeah.
Because I can't pick one to win.
Yeah, no, that's
And I
God's
think
for everybody.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
And I really can tell it. I could see it in you.
Yeah.
And so however you're walking, to continue that, you know what I'm saying? And you'll be blessed. Like however God is going to do it. And I think you already have the mindset, and it's already there.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, you sacrificed, right? You just worked a night shift and you came straight to our podcast.
Yeah.
Why don't you kind of tell us a little bit about, and once again, as we're kind of going on, I'm trying to make sure that people understand this. Like you work, tell us what you do currently right now. So you have a full-time job on top of a full-time job, of training, right? So what do you do currently for work?
Currently for work, I work for AMVA Corporation.
Which is a group home, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I work in a group home. I work the night shift.
Is it for children or is it for adults?
They're adults.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what
adults.
does the age range from?
The age, maybe I would say late 30s to like 50s.
Oh, okay. So it's like you don't got like teens then. There's no 18, 19, 20. Oh, it's like, okay.
Yeah. Older adults.
So how does that work? Like, how does that kind of going from what you're doing right now to that, like, kind of let us know, like, how does that play a role? Like, how do you handle the group home? Like, do you get a lot of, I mean, you're a fighter, so do people kind of get crazy with you, or how does that work?
Well, They don't get crazy with me. They're really good people.
Okay. Yeah.
They're kind of like, they've became like family to me.
Okay.
Yeah, taking care of them is honestly a blessing to be there. My company is amazing that I work for. The owners are actually Christian, and
Nice.
they love fighting. My boss Vartan, he's actually coming to my fight on August 23rd.
Okay.
They're really great people. They support my career and what I'm trying to achieve. And without them, I don't even think I could be doing this, to be honest with you. It's a tough game, and they're part of the reason why I'm able to sacrifice all that I do.
See, and that's kind of, as we're going in,
Yeah.
I was so genuine trying to ask you all these questions about fighting, and I forgot the big picture. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even think, and I'm glad I brought it up. I'm glad it came in because I don't think they understand. Like, you're doing a night shift, 8 hours, right? You're getting out of work, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you're going straight to training,
Yep.
right? And then you train up till, like I said, I see you on your social media right now. You're training 2, 3, 4 times a day sometimes, or 2, 3 times a day, right? On top of working nights.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's dedication right there, brother. Like,
Yeah.
and I really want people to understand this. Like, that's where, Isaiah, you're going to build the fans. Because they're going to be like, what? He works at a group home. He's working night shift. He's getting up. He's still working. And I think, like I said, the record just goes out the window because you're still young. You're still learning, right? You're still, you even said it yourself, you're more of a wrestler turning into a striker with jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
You know? So I think as you go through, it's going to like all come together in God's time. And I could feel it. I'm telling you, bro, I could feel it.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I really like that Bible verse too.
Yeah, no, it really comes down to his timing. Because at the end of the day, we can sit here and be like, oh, I want to do this or I want to do that. We could want to do all we want, bro. It's not going to matter unless God knows that our heart is pure and we're ready for the blessings. You got to understand, like, he always wants to bless you.
Yeah.
You know, that's not it wants to bless you. And I feel like we have to show him that we're ready for the blessings. Yeah. And at the same time, okay, say he doesn't give us. I used to look at it like one door closing. You know, that's not a rejection. That's God's protection.
Yeah.
There's something else to open for you, a bigger door.
Yeah.
You know, and I believe that that's going to happen with you, Isaiah, one day. And I'm really interested to, like, watch it grow for you because you kind of got the mindset and you got the work ethic down. And then it seems like you got a great team behind you, you know. Yeah. And not only that, you have the Lord, you know. And now you have like I said, I know you didn't like that little saying, but you got a fan in us for sure. And we're always going to kind of keep track with you. And I would love to re-podcast with you, like maybe towards, I don't know, we could do it kind of like after a few fights, you know, kind of as you kind of get more stuff kind of goes on, you know, we can kind of follow you, right?
Yeah.
And then maybe one day whether it's 559, whether it's whatever else, you know, but who knows? I mean, you could probably fight for a title one day for 559, right? And then we could bring you on before your title fight or vice versa. Maybe it's the next one to go on to the next step. Yeah, no, for sure. Is there anything else that you would like to touch on this podcast, particularly for 559 and for the August 23rd event, or just in general? Is there anything else that you want to touch on that you want to share? Because remember, this is your podcast. This is your story. You're telling who you are.
Yeah. No, not really any things I want to touch on. I do want to thank some people.
Go ahead. I want to look into the camera right there so they can see you.
Yeah. I want to, first and foremost, I want to thank my family. Without them, I would not be able to do any of this stuff. They're big support system for me. I want to thank my team at Manny Mancha Kickboxing. I want to thank my team at Madera Martial Arts. All of my buddies that's helped me through my jiu-jitsu game, or with my jiu-jitsu game. And I just want to invite anyone to church with me at North Point. It's a great church, great people. We do Bible studies on Monday night. It's usually 25 through 30-year-olds, but that's not limited to that age group. And, I just wanted to give thanks to those people and just invite anyone to church with me if you see this and you're interested in checking out North Point.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. And then so usually what way we end every podcast is with the same Bible verse. So do you want to read it?
Oh, yeah. I got you.
Oh, for sure.
Psalms chapter 4, verse 7 through 8. You have given me greater joy than those who have abundant harvests of grain and new wine. In peace I will lie down and sleep, for you alone, O Lord, will keep me safe.
Awesome. Psalms chapter 4, verse 7 and 8.
Yeah.
All right. And so with that being said, guys, don't forget August 23rd, 559. We're going to have Isaiah Walls. He's going to be on the card. Go check him out. Go support. Also, if you were touched by this podcast, if you felt like you need to talk to the Lord, or if you have that calling, Isaiah just welcomed you to North Point Church. They have their Bible studies on Monday. At what time?
We meet at 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
Yeah, you can just DM me.
You can just DM him. He's on. You can find you on social media.
Yeah.
Where can we find you, Isaiah?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram.
Instagram?
Yeah.
Do we have anything else or just Instagram?
Yeah, mainly just Instagram.
Just
That's
Instagram.
the only
Okay,
thing
and
I
is it
really am
Isaiah
active
Walls?
on.
Just Isaiah Walls? Or
I think
what's
it's Isaiah_Walls_9.
There you go, guys. So
Yeah.
thank you once again for coming on. Appreciate that. You came from work. You gave us the time.
Thank you, brother.
We'll see you out there August 23rd. We'll be there.
Yeah.